Hello everybody and welcome to the Daily Review, episode number 178 for Tuesday, July 14th, 2009. And the film I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is Martyrs. This is a French horror film. It's kind of in that crazy new wave of horror that I'm sure some of you guys have heard about. There's a film called Inside, which I haven't seen, but this was getting compared to it a lot. High tension, that sort of stuff, ultra violent. This film is directed by Pascal Laugier. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the actresses' names who are in this because it's not going to be good for me or you. Martyrs is basically the story of a young girl named Lucy who is abducted and tortured. You don't really know why. She escapes, and it basically just torments her brain, and 15 years later she seeks out the revenge on these people that did this to her. Along the way, her friend Anna follows her to the house where she's going to do this, and they start to uncover kind of what happened to her when she was a kid, why, that sort of thing. Martyrs is probably the only horror film I know where the opening shot is a 10-year-old girl in her underwear and a tank top, bloody face, beaten up, sprinting down the street crying, and ends with a definition. Kind of interesting, to say the least. Martyrs is an uber, ultra-violent, shocking, graphic, bloody, gory, and actually kind of mildly uplifting film for me. At least that's kind of what I got out of it. There are only a select group of people that are even gonna not just want to see this movie, but are actually gonna sit through it and maybe actually enjoy a little bit of it, which you don't really enjoy this movie, but might actually get something out of it. I think that it is possibly one of the most violent movies I've ever seen. It's pretty graphic stuff, and I think that it takes a lot for me as a film goer to think that something is super duper violent, because I feel like me personally, I'm so desensitized to film and violence in film that when I see violence in movies, I'm like, oh, this is just a movie. I'm watching fake violence. These people are not really getting hurt. But Martyrs does a very convincing job for me to not really want to be looking at the screen, and actually I got pretty grossed out at certain parts, which I'm not going to spoil, but safe to say the violence is very graphic in this film. So if you're the type of person that cannot handle violence whatsoever, if you thought Saw was absolutely disgusting, this is light years beyond that. But all that being said, I think a film like this, and the reasons that certain films like Hostel and Saw have gotten labeled as torture porn, is because there's not really a point to it. I think that Saw maybe a little bit, but Hostel especially, that the movie goes on, you're watching these people getting tortured, there's no point to what you're seeing, it's just violence for the sake of violence. Maybe they're trying to send a message about how violent films are, but that's about it. But with this one, you actually do get an explanation for everything that's going on and why things are going on. It might be an explanation that some people might not be happy with. Other people might be ecstatic over the way that this film ends up. I'm probably right in the middle. I didn't really hate it, but I didn't really absolutely think it was superb. All that being said, though, the first probably 2/3 of this film worked really well for me, and the first 2/3 are probably the most violent part of the film. There's some stuff towards the end that's really violent, but it works in a weird way. It's almost like Funny Games without its little comedic touches. And the first 2/3 just work for me, and the last half, what happens is the film kind of takes this whole different direction, sets a whole different tone, and I had some problems with the directing style towards the end. There's a lot of fade in, fade out shots where the director will fade into a scene. That scene will last for literally like 30 seconds and then fade out, and then they'll fade in again and fade out, and all it's supposed to show is passing of time, but it got a little irritating to me after a while. That's a really minor nitpick, though. And as I was talking about the ending, I do think that the ending is poetic in a very dark and twisted way, but I think it's still a little poetic, and it's kind of actually saying something, which I know is shocking for horror films nowadays that they can actually say something about the human psyche or anything like that. But I would say that if you can handle violence, if you've been heard about this movie and you've wanted to see it, I would recommend to see it once. I would never ever want to see this movie again. It it rattled my bones a little bit, but yeah, see it if you have the stomach for it. But if you can't handle violence, steer clear away from Martyrs. I give Martyrs a 3.5 out of 5. It's actually quite a good horror flick, but again, if you can handle violence, you're alright. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one for you guys.